Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Hold no punches.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Black power.
Support this man, Black media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig? Today is Friday, December 12, 2025, coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming live on the Black Star Network. Indiana Republican senators face escalating threats after breaking with Donald Trump on redistricting, and Republican Governor Mike Braun says he's ready to fight back. Really? Interesting. Bombshell images from the Epstein estate. House Democrats released new photos featuring Trump, Clinton, and Prince Andrew. What's coming next from those long-sealed DOJ files? Two black transportation leaders push back after being fired from federal boards. They're suing the Trump administration. And former National Transportation Safety Board Chair, Vice Chair Alvin James will join us right here on the show. Alvin Brown, will join us on the show. In Mississippi, a family's $1 million investment aims to turn a strip mall into Black Wall Street 2.0. The CEO will join us on the show. Also, in Alabama, sky-high infant mortality sparks new urgency. Reproductive justice advocate Tia Freeman will join us on the show. Also, folks, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett announces this week that she is running for the United States Senate in Texas. New poll comes out talking about the race. We'll tell you about that. And also, I'm going to explain to you how foreign bots and a lot of white progressives are trying to use the issue of Israel and Gaza against her when that is not what people in Texas are talking about. I'm explaining to y'all why that is not an argument to be running on when you're trying to win a primary in Texas. I will explain. Plus, today is the 50th anniversary of the founding of the National Association of Black Journalists. It is time to bring the funk on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling.
Boy, MAGA, they're pissed off at those Indiana Republicans who voted down the map. Now, the leader of the Indiana Senate said because of their rules, they can't even take up a new map in 2026. So now they got to live with it. It was a 31-19 vote. It leaves in place 7 Republicans, 2 Democrats, as opposed to 9-0. Trump and J.D. Vance personally lobbied for months to push the plan through. Now they are upset. The Heritage Foundation calling this a betrayal as well. These people are mad. They're angry. Trump publicly blamed Indiana's Republican Senate leadership, especially Senate Pro Tem Roderick Bray, who voted no. Watch this.
It's funny because I won Indiana all 3 times by a landslide. And I wasn't working on it very hard. Would have been nice. I think we would have picked up 2 seats if we did that. You had one gentleman, the head of the Senate, I guess, Bray, whatever his name is. I heard he was against it. He'll probably lose his next primary, whenever that is. I hope he does, but because he's done a tremendous disservice. I mean, think of it. It's a great place. I love the people there. They love me. You know, we won in a landslide all 3 times. Got tremendous votes. I got record votes. And then there's no reason for doing that. And the Democrats do it to us, so I can't imagine that they do it. But I wasn't very much involved. But there's a man named Bray as I guess, head of the Senate. Was that Bray? Is that the name, Bray? I mean, I'm sure that whenever his primary is, it's, I think, in 2 years. But I'm sure he'll go down. He'll go down. I'll certainly support anybody that wants to go against him.
Is that the case? Indiana Governor Mike Braun called the Senate's decision disappointing, pledging to work with Trump to literally challenge lawmakers who he says, quote, don't represent the best interests of Hoosiers. That's sort of weird. Show the senators, of course, who voted against. You see them right here. I don't understand what their problem is. I mean, they're all mad, upset by this. And so here's what gets me. How can you say people don't represent the interests of Hoosiers when these very people were elected by Hoosiers into office? but they're just mad upset that they basically told Donald Trump he can kick rocks. And that's really what's going on here. And so it's just laughable when you begin to see how these folks are reacting, how angry they are, how upset they are, and how these Republicans are talking. I think it's funny. And what they can't stand the fact that they chose to have their own opinion. They actually chose to stand up and say, we think this is not right. We think this is fair. We think this is just. And so some of them have talked about that they were sick and tired of the threats. They did not like the fact that they were being targeted. They did not like the fact that you had, that they were calling in bomb threats. They were attacking them. One woman actually said that she was so angry, she's a grandmother, she said she picked up her son from school, and all he could talk about were all of these text messages that his teammates were getting trashing his grandmother. And that's when she said, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Look at this right here. You got this. This is one of these MAGA folks. Let me show y'all this here. And this is how they're operating. These are the assholes that sold out to communist Democrats in redistricting. They are an embarrassment to Indiana GOP voters. Every one of these nitwits needs a primary opponent. Worse, they sold out to communist Democrats for promise of campaign cash. Idiots. Do y'all actually think Democrats were trying to say we're going to give campaign cash to these Republicans? I don't think so. They were not trying to say that. But you see how they respond. They are mad because they can't get their way. Pull it up. This is what it looks like. So they're mad at them. Y'all, these are all hardcore conservatives. But they're mad because they chose to defy dear leader. And that's who Donald Trump is. He is, for them, he is the dear leader. It was another video I saw today, I'm looking for it right now, that I thought was pretty hilarious, where this one of these senators, he stood up and he was like, these are my friends and I can't believe y'all did this. This is not right. This is not fair. This is just unjust. I mean, Democrats, they stole 5 seats. And let me just take y'all back to what happened. Because, see, I think facts are important. You got to be stuck on stupid. You got to be stuck on stupid to stand up and say that Democrats started this in stealing 5 seats in California, when California's action only came about after what they did in Texas. Let me say it again. I have not seen any evidence where Democrats were saying we need to gerrymander maps to pick up seats in 2026. Donald Trump called for 5 in Texas. Texas capitulated. That punk Greg Abbott and Dan Patrick. So they gave him 5. Gavin Newsom said, okay, y'all take 5 from us. We're going to take 5 from y'all. California responded. Then all of a sudden, Missouri chose to gerrymander Congressman Emanuel Cleaver's seat. Then Ohio and Florida said, oh, we're going to gerrymander too. And all of a sudden, Maryland and Illinois said, oh, that's how y'all roll? We're going to get in on this as well. And then Virginia as well. So if Texas does not gerrymander 5 seats, the domino doesn't happen. North Carolina, they jumped in as well. So if any Republican says that the Democrats, they started this. No, they didn't. This all started because Trump demanded 5 in Texas. Michael Imhotep, host of the African History Network show out of Detroit, joins me. That Manning, civil rights attorney out of Corpus Christi, joins me. Dr. Zachary Kirk, educator and content creator of Atlanta, joins me as well. Y'all, this is real simple. We're not here, Matt, if Texas doesn't punk out and do what Trump wanted. But now the Republicans are mad because some of their own was like, yo, we just did this map 4 years ago. Hell no, we ain't doing this.
Right. And I'm hoping that this is a harbinger for them finally jumping ship. Because, this midstream redistricting has affected me. In fact, the person I have to vote for Congress now is Vicente Gonzalez, who was previously over the valley, right? So if Texas doesn't gerrymander, if they don't capitulate to the Republicans, then I personally am not having to look at different people than I would have the last several elections because of how they redrew the map. The point with this is, though, it's the Republicans' fault. Donald Trump told Texas to do it. Greg Abbott wants to be the heir apparent. He's going to do anything he can to lick Trump's boots. And he says, yes, sir, how much more do you need? Tell me how high to jump. And he does it, and he goes and gets those 5 votes, and then Gavin Newsom follows suit. And you see this obviously trickling across the country. And it's interesting to me that with him being a lame duck, especially with these, soon to be a lame duck, and with these last elections when, they lost in Virginia and in New Jersey and at the points that they did, you would think that Republicans around the country would start jumping ship faster and saying, you know what, we're going to push back against that because it's very soon going to be the truth that it's no longer in our political interest to be tied to Donald Trump. But we see that they are still being ruled by fear, and that's exactly why they're capitulating in the way that they have.
And of course, you can always count on Donald Trump lying. And so he was like, oh, no, I really wasn't involved in a lot of this. Watch this.
In Indiana, just a few moments ago, the Senate there rejected the congressional maps to redistrict in that state. A number of Republicans voted against that redistricting effort. You have spent a lot of time talking about this. The vice president traveled to Indiana. What's your reaction?
Well, we won every other state. That's the only state. It's funny because I won Indiana all 3 times by a landslide. And I wasn't working on it very hard. Would have been nice. I think we would have picked up 2 seats if we did that. You had one gentleman, the head of the Senate, I guess, Bray, whatever his name is. I heard he was against it. He'll probably lose his next primary, whenever that is. I hope he does, but because he's done a tremendous disservice. I mean, think of it. It's a great place. I love the people there. They love me. We won in a landslide all 3 times. Got tremendous votes. I got record votes. And then there's no reason for doing that. And the Democrats do it to us, so I can't imagine that they do it. But I wasn't very much involved. But
Michael, he lying. He called Indiana folks to the White House. J.D. Vance went down. Mike Johnson, his son. Oh, they worked real hard on this. This is what you say when you lose.
Right. And I'm glad this blew up in Donald Trump's face. He's a born liar, a straight-faced bullshitter, just like J.D. Vance, just like MAGA Mike Johnson. And you have Republicans sensing, 1, Donald Trump is losing power. 2, they realize he's not going to be there forever. 3, you've already had at least 42 Republicans in the House of Representatives who announced that they are retiring or not going to run again, things of this nature, right? So they see him weakening. Then you see these 21 Republicans in the state legislature in Indiana voting against redistricting. And I saw State Senator Michael Bohacek, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his name, on Katie Turner's show today on MSNBC, and he's the one who came out and said he wasn't going to vote for this because Trump referred to Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota as retarded, and State Senator Michael Bohacek has a daughter with disabilities, and he really took offense to that. And one of the things he said was in Indiana, he said they have more real Republicans, more conservative Republicans, okay, than like the MAGA Republicans. Okay, now I don't know how true that is, but we saw they voted against this. So there needs to be more of this. Donald Trump is a liar that we see across the country. We just saw in Miami. You have a Democratic mayor for the first time in 30 years. So we see these special elections and things like this taking place. Republicans are losing badly. So, yeah, I think he senses the walls are closing in on that gilded ballroom that he's constructing.
Zachary, I love the people who are just really so upset. Here's one of these Indiana Republicans, Senator Chris Garten. He was really, really fired up about wanting to gerrymander the map.
Some will say these maps are political. Let me be clear. You're damn right they are. Political policy is political. Safe streets are political. Look at Indianapolis. Affordable electricity is political. A drug-free Indiana is political. peace in the Middle East is political. I dealt with it firsthand. If drawing a map that secures 2 more seats for the Republican Party means that we continue to see overdose deaths drop by 20%, then I'll draw that map every single day of the week and twice on Sunday. If drawing a map means that we'll continue to see a 93% drop in illegal immigration, then I'll sign it with a smile on my face.
It's great. That's great. That's great that you're going to sit here and say all of that. But guess what? If they do that in Texas, if they do that, I'm sorry, if they do it in California, if they do it in Illinois, do it in Maryland, do you feel the same?
Listen, this man is up there with his righteous indignation, spewing out untruths. He's not going to see a continued drop in fentanyl overdoses. He hasn't seen a continued drop in fentanyl overdoses. What he's going to see, and what the people of Indiana are going to continue to see, will be continued rising prices, continued inflation at record levels, continued unemployment continuing to happen, the continuation of people losing their farmland to billionaires in this country. That's what they're going to see. And what they're also going to see is the continuation of Republicans losing their seats. Now, Greg Abbott in Texas sat up there, and you said kissing boots. I say kissing Trump's ass. Did exactly what Trump wanted him to do, and he redistricted this whole entire state, thinking that it was going to cost Democrats seats. Democrats can still win, especially when the Republican Party in this country are not serving the people they were elected to serve. In addition to that, not only did he put safe Republican seats in Texas at risk, he's putting safe Republican seats in California at risk. And again, that's really happening all across the country. Here in the state of Georgia, my home state, we saw in House District 121 a Democrat pick up a reliably Republican seat because of what the Republicans in this state did regarding gerrymandering in the last term. They took reliably blue Clark County and divided it up and put part of it in a county, which has always been ruby red, and now you have a Democrat representing that seat. This stuff is going to continue to backfire against Republicans like that gentleman you just showed, as long as they put themselves first before their constituents. And that's exactly what they have been doing and what they're doing right here.
I just think it.
Well, themselves and Donald Trump.
I just think it's hilarious. And again, they can keep complaining. But there's something I'm going to say. Democrats, keep your foot on their necks. You do not back down on gerrymandering until you can't. The hell with them. Going to a break. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
Right now, you have people get up in the morning, and the only thing they can think about is how many people they can hurt, and they got the power. That's the time for mourning.
For better or worse, what makes America special, it's that legal system that's supposed to protect minorities from the tyranny of the majority.
We are at a point of a moral emergency. We must raise a voice of outrage. We must raise a voice of compassion. And we must raise a voice of unity.
We are not in a crisis of party versus party. We are in a crisis of civilization, a human rights crisis, and a crisis of democracy itself. And guess what? You've been chosen to make sure that those that would destroy, those that would hate, don't have the final say, and they don't ultimately win.
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. America is being reshaped in real time by a group of 6 people, unelected and without any checks and balances. By the end of the current Supreme Court session, education, the workplace, who gets to elect our leaders, and so much more could radically change. This week, we reconvene our legal roundtable and look at what the new America may look like and how we should respond. That's next on the Black Table, right here on the Black Star Network.
It's your boy Earthquake, giving Roland Martin something to do, because he don't know what to do. He's from Texas. Ain't his fault.
All right, 2 black men were fired from the National Transportation Safety Board and the U.S. Surface Transportation Board have filed a lawsuit against Donald Trump's administration. They claim the terminations are part of a larger pattern of discrimination against black appointees within the government. Robert Primus, a member of the STB, and Alvin Brown, a member of the NTSB, were the only black board members in their respective agencies when they were terminated. Alvin Brown, the former vice chair of the board, joins right now. Alvin, how you doing? So, first of all, Donald Trump has been firing appointees left and right. But y'all's suit is a little bit different. Other people have said, had this suing, saying you didn't have the right. Supreme Court said he did have the right to fire folks. But explain why you're taking this position.
Well, because, first of all, thanks for having me here tonight. I was removed abruptly, unlawful movement to move me and Robert off the boards. It's illegal. That's one thing. Secondly, I can't just sit back and watch something that is illegal happen to me, because this is bigger than me. It's about the independent agencies should remain independent. And that's why Congress said it that way, so you don't get involved in politics and focus on targeting people. And unfortunately, this has been a pattern of the administration, targeting African Americans, and I decided to stand up and speak out and challenge the system because it's wrong and it's unacceptable.
But you're taking a different tack because others have sued. Yeah, so right. Why do you think this is going to be successful?
Well, because there are two things. One, I filed a lawsuit for the unlawfulness, and two, on the discrimination case. So we filed a lawsuit. We amended our suit and filed a lawsuit on discrimination.
When we look at the appointees across, it's a lot of black people that have been losing their jobs.
That's right. And that's unacceptable. We live this is the 21st century. People work hard to get to where they are today. Qualified African Americans serving their country should have the right for protection and not be engaged in partisan politics in these positions.
When we start going through here, we've never seen anything like this. And one of the things that I've said point blank to Democrats is this is somebody who is trying to use maximum power and wants maximum power. And look, you formerly worked in the administration. You were the mayor in Jacksonville. And what I keep saying, Democrats are going to have to wake up and realize this is the new normal. Right. Stop acting like we're returning to old. Republicans clearly are allowing this to happen, and Republicans in Congress are allowing this to happen.
That's right. And so I think what Democrats have to do is leverage their resources, their assets, work together. I like what Bernice King said in her book, Hard Questions, Hard Answers. There is tremendous power when we come together and work together, when the issue that is clear, a cause that is just, and a purpose that is righteous. And clearly the cause is clear and the issue is righteous. There's no reason in the 21st century that they can't work together and solve the problems in our community, but particularly when it comes to leading and being leadership, they should challenge that. There's
Absolutely.
No question about it.
Questions from our panel. Michael, you first.
I have been following this, and I know New York Times has a good piece, Trump fires black officials from an overwhelmingly white administration. I was wondering, what type of support have you all received from others in the Trump administration, African Americans that have been terminated, who felt they were terminated unjustly? And is there any type of support network that you all have put together to support one another? Because it could be devastating. People who are who've worked for the federal government for decades, now all of a sudden they lose their job for no good reason.
Yeah, so here's the thing that's so important, and that's why Robert and I filed the lawsuit. We have to protect our rights, and you just can't sit back and think that things are normal. So you have to push back. 1, 2. We don't want them to set a precedent. Why would we allow independent agencies should remain independent? And that was the reason, to be above partisan politics, to focus on the issues. In my case, in Robert's case, we focus on safety. That's all we care about, making sure when you get on that plane to make sure nothing happens. But when it does happen, we want to find out why it happened and make sure it doesn't happen again. So it's all about saving lives. Right now, over 40,000 people die on our highways every year. We need to focus on that issue. And so we've been reaching out. We've got a lot of support. I'm thankful to God that Roland has had me on the show, and I'm sure he's going to have Robert, making sure that we inform the community that we have these issues that they need to be engaged in. The Black Caucus has stepped up. The Senate, Democrats have stepped up, reaching out and pushing back. And that's what it's going to take, because at the end of the day, we can't let this sit. We cannot let this take place where they take over the independent agencies. We need to fight for their rights, but I'm going to fight, because this is bigger than me. I'm doing this also to make sure that this never happens again in our country. I'm the only one in the history of the National Transportation Safety Board that was removed unlawfully in the history, and that cannot stand.
Matt?
Yeah, so I have probably a dumb question. I'm a lawyer, so I should know this, but I have not followed, unfortunately, your lawsuit. So my question for you is, has the administration actually, in a court filing or in arguments or anywhere else, advanced what they're alleging to be cause for your firing? And I ask because normally what you see in an employment context is they say, no, here are all the reasons we think Mr. Braun is deficient, irrespective of whether we really have the power to fire him. Here's the reason we're alleging we're firing him. So what, if any, cause have they advanced, alleged cause?
That's a great question. There was no cause at all. There was no cause. So I was dismissed unlawfully with no cause, no performance issues at all, period.
And Roland, let me ask a quick follow-up, if I may.
Go ahead.
So is the administration then just saying we just have the inherent power to decide who we want where, and this is an exercise of that power? Have they tried to give any kind of subterfuge as for why they fired you and Robert Primus?
No, but you know, they're saying, they haven't said that in our case, but what they're trying to do is get the Supreme Court to empower them to be able to fire anybody at any time at any will. He said that he's no longer there.
Zachary.
Yeah, and that, you know, that's kind of exactly what I wanted to know. Why do you think the Trump administration is doing this? But you've kind of given that answer, because I want to make it very plain and very clear for people. I think I know why he's doing, and I think people on this panel will know, many of our viewers will know. But I want you to make it real plain in just your own words. Why do you think Trump is doing this? And then the second thing I want to know is, what can we heard about what our Democratic brothers, our Black brothers and sisters, the CBC are doing to support you in D.C. But what can we, the greater, broader Black community, the people that Roland Martin serves, what can we do to support you?
Well, thank you for those questions. So the answer to the first question is, this is not an isolated situation. This is a pattern that's taken place within the federal government, and it's been happening, and it's happening every day. That's one. So, two, it is the facts are there. In a broader sense, race played a role in my dismissal. The facts are there, and that's the bottom line. My race played a role in for them to dismiss me. And the facts are there. There's so many blacks who serve on boards and commissions who were removed from their positions. And it's factual, and that's what it is. Now, what you can do and the Black community can do, basically speak up, speak out. We need to challenge this all over the country. This shouldn't sit, because this is bigger than me and Robert. It's about our kids and our grandkids. We stand on so many shoulders. Many people died and paid the price so I can sit in that seat. And I refuse to walk away. Now, I know some of my brothers and sisters are afraid to file a lawsuit, afraid of retaliation. That happened even back in the day. So we decided to step out and push back. We have a right to do it, and we're doing it. So we need all of us working together to get the word out and send a message to Washington, send a message to the White House that we will not tolerate this in the 21st century.
All right, then. Alvin Brown, man, I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Let us
sir.
know what happens.
I will.
All right, thanks a bunch. Folks, we come back. We're going to talk Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. She's talking about banning no-knock warrants. We'll show you what she said today outside of Capitol Hill. Also, we'll talk about her U.S. Senate race and why I think black folk should not fall for the okie doke in trying to make Israel an issue in her Senate race. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Don't forget to support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. You want to contribute via Cash App, use the Stripe QR code. You see it right here, bottom left-hand corner. PayPal is rmartin unfiltered. Venmo's RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Check some money order and make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 2003 7-0196. Back in a moment.
This week on The Other Side of Change.
Book bans, anti-intellectualism, and Trump's continued war on wisdom.
This is a coordinated backlash to progress. At the end of the day, conservatives realized that they couldn't win a debate on facts. They started using our language against us, right? Remember when we were all woke and the woke movement and all that kind of stuff? Now everything is anti-woke, right? When we were talking about including diversity, equity, inclusion in higher education, now it's anti-DEI. All this are efforts to suppress the truth because truth empowers people.
You're watching The Other Side of Change only on the Black Star Network.
Said the quiet part out loud. Black votes are a threat. So they erased them. After the Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act in 2013, Republican legislatures moved fast. New voter ID laws, polling place shutdowns, purges of black voters from the rolls. Trump's Justice Department didn't stop it. They joined in. In 2018, his DOJ backed Ohio's voter purge system, a scheme that disproportionately erased black voters. Their goal, erase black votes and political power. Yeah, that happened. These are the kinds of stories that we cover every day on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Subscribe on YouTube and download the Black Star Network app. Support fact-based independent journalism that centers African Americans and the issues that matter to our community.
I'm Bishop T.D. Jakes, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered.
All right, Democrats in Congress are reigniting the fight to ban no-knock warrants nationwide with the Justice for Breonna Taylor Act, and Democratic leaders are calling for action. Among those speaking today, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and Kentucky Congressman Morgan McGarvey. Here's what Congresswoman Crockett had to say.
I must tell you that as you spoke, my little pen got to going, as well as a couple of other people up here, because you said something to the effect of slick con man calling and tricking people. I thought that was profound because it seems like that's how we got into this mess.
All right, folks, mistake there. That is not the video of Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett speaking about the no-knock warrants. Let me go ahead and get to that right now. This is it right here. Pull up my audio, please.
In the forest, do you hear it if nobody's there? I'm here to tell you that when we lost Breonna Taylor, we absolutely heard it and we felt it. It felt like an earthquake. You see, Tamika does not know fully the impact, and I don't think she'll ever know the impact of her daughter's life on this country. But at the time, if we go back to March of 2020, when I was still a young lawyer in my mind, and I was practicing law, and I somehow was running for the state house, I had just made it to my runoff. And the next thing you know, they're saying that COVID is coming in. But then the next thing you know, Breonna Taylor is killed. Breonna Taylor then is killed and people started hitting the streets. So I did what I've always done in my civil rights role is I hit the streets as well. I wanted to make sure that protesters' rights were not going to be violated. And so as we walked through the streets and we said her name, because there were a lot of people that would not say her name and did not want to look out for getting any kind of justice for her, that is what I was doing, is I was in the streets. And here it was, we go through, we're fighting in the streets. That was March of 2020. By May of 2020, we had another person that had been killed at the hands of law enforcement by the name of George Floyd. You see, that was a summer of action for so many, but the question was, would that action continue? Would we turn this moment into a movement, or would we let everything die with their precious souls? The answer for me was no. So interestingly enough, I finished out my race and I actually won, and I ended up in the Texas State House. There's a bill that I filed as soon as I got there. It was called Breonna's Law. Now, y'all know this is down in Texas. So y'all know things are a little interesting in Texas. But let me tell you that even in Texas, even as a freshman civil rights attorney that was doing this because it was the right thing to do, it passed out of our committee with bipartisan support. Unfortunately, they never put it on the floor for a vote, but it would have passed because we had the support of law enforcement. We had the support of activist organizations. This is about what good legislation looks like. And that's what it is. This is about saving lives. Let me tell you something. When a no-knock warrant is actually executed, I don't know how many of y'all really understand how this works. As somebody who's also done criminal defense, a knock warrant ain't nothing. All it is police. That's all it is. That's it. But imagine being in a state like Texas where they say, you know what, everybody can have guns, and frankly, everybody does. And then you're saying that somebody just comes in your home. We have people that are currently sitting on death row because they have shot when somebody came in their home. Listen, this is smart legislation. This is why it's bipartisan. This is why it's bicameral. And all we're asking people to do is get behind it. It is time for us to set aside our differences and do what we all say we want to do, which is to make sure that we are all going to be safe, whether we are on the streets or in our homes. This legislation will prevent others from losing their lives unnecessarily. Breonna should be here. We shouldn't be having this conversation, but we are, because her mama refuses to give up on her daughter. No mother should have to go through what she's went through. But the reality is that God has got her. And that is why she is standing with us today. So I ask you, wherever you are, make sure you call your representative, make sure you call your senators and tell them to sign on to this smart legislation.
Folks, so that was today on Capitol Hill. Now, we've been, of course, covering her announcement this week. She announced she's running for United States Senate, and new polling data was dropped today regarding that particular race, and is actually showing that she has about an 8-point lead against State Representative James Tallarico. So when you look at the polling data, it breaks down the actual race. And so this was a poll put out by, don't go to it yet, this is a poll put out by Texas Southern University. And again, it's regarding the Texas U.S. Senate primary race. And so when we look at the poll, this is what it shows right here. The crosstabs show among women, Crockett is leading 57-36. Among men, Tallarico is leading 52-42. Among white voters, it's 53-40 Tallarico. Among Latino voters, 51-41 Tallarico. Among African Americans, 89-8 Crockett. Among voters 18-34, this is probably surprising a lot of people, Tallarico's leading 63-34. Voters 35-44, 51-42. This is where Crockett is winning. 55-plus voters, the people who vote the most in primaries and elections, she's leading by 25 points, 59-44. Four-year college degree, Crockett's up 48-45. No four-year college degree, Crockett's up 12, 53-41. Among Democratic voters, Crockett's up 53-42. Among independent voters, Tallarico's up 49-41. Now, one of the things that is interesting that I've been watching this week in this race is that there have been a lot of folks, a lot of white progressives, and some black folks as well, have really been targeting Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. And in fact, here's a perfect example. This person, Matt Stoller, okay? And so he and others have been posting. This is what he says. I really dislike Crockett's propensity to engage in dishonesty and gaslighting when asked about her views. If you support Israel, own it. Plenty of Democrats do that. Don't lie about your record and insult people with questions. Now, earlier today, she was stopped by Ashley Banks of the Griot, and she was questioned about this here. And let me play this for you. Watch this. Listen to this.
I know you've seen it on social media where people are saying that some of them aren't going to vote for you because of this pro-Israel stance. What do you have to say about that?
What I have to say is that people need to start to do their research and stop falling for the clickbait. Listen, if you loved me before, then what has changed? You can always look at my voting record and know what it is that I have and haven't voted for, but it's quite intellectually lazy if you just sit there and let somebody else tell you something and you don't go and get the full picture. You can always look at my FEC filings and find whatever information it is that you seek. So what I will tell you is that I'm not going to be distracted, because at the end of the day, I can tell you that Texans are concerned about the fact that we lead in uninsured in this country. I can tell you that Texans are concerned because right now jobs are few. I can tell you that Texans are concerned because they can't afford child care. I can tell you that Texans are concerned because hospitals are about to close down. And if you have questions, then you should just go and look at my record. I have nothing to hide. I wouldn't be running for office if I had anything to hide. But what I'm not going to do is allow people to sit here and have me on the defensive about something that they don't even know what they're talking about, because it is very easy to look up who is endorsed by who and to figure that out. That is intellectually lazy for you not to just go and look who has been endorsed.
Now, a lot of these progressives have been saying AIPAC backed her. No, they didn't. They didn't. But here's the question that somebody has to ask. How all of a sudden is the Texas Senate race, how is Israel and Gaza a litmus test on this race? Can somebody explain that to me? I mean, we're talking about a state where a Democrat has not been elected statewide since 1994. 1994, 4 Democrats were elected statewide. Has not happened since. So, how all of a sudden is this the defining issue? In fact, if you go look at videos and social media of James Tallarico, I don't see lots of posts talking about Israel and Gaza. Now, let me be real clear. Am I not saying that a U.S. senator doesn't vote on international issues? Nope. Am I not saying that a U.S. senator does not vote on national issues? Nope. Am I saying that, the issue of Israel, Gaza, Palestinians, is that a non-issue? No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, don't y'all find it suspicious? All of a sudden, when you're looking on all these social media accounts, including some black folks, it's, what's their position on Israel? What's the position on Palestine? Let me help y'all out. I'm from Texas, born and raised. I am still registered to vote in Texas. The Texas United States Senate race ain't going to be decided on Israel. It's not. And let me also say this to a lot of progressives. Next year's election, the 2026 midterms, you got Senate races in Georgia, Senate races in North Carolina, Kentucky, Ohio, congressional races, Senate races in Iowa, in Maine. It's not going to be decided on Israel. If y'all want to, we can go back to the Mamdani race in New York City. Mamdani's critics tried to make Israel the issue. He said the issue is affordability. Anybody who studied any of his campaign ads, I don't recall him making the issue as mayor of New York City Israel. In fact, I do recall there was a debate, and they asked all these candidates, what are you going to do? What's going to be the first place you visit? You know what they said? Israel. And they got to him, he said, New York City. But I want y'all to see what's going on. See, I just refreshed on Twitter, and I need y'all to understand what Elon Musk is doing. Elon Musk is purposely driving the algorithm. Go to my iPad. I just refreshed it. This Blakely, it's the entitlement for me. She rolled her eyes that voters dare ask her a question. First of all, let's see here. Blakely. Let's see here. I'm sorry. I am Blakely. She's from Brooklyn, New York. She ain't no Texas voter. And then she said she rolls her eyes that voters didn't ask her a question. Ashley Banks of the Griot asked her a question. But I just want y'all to understand what's going on here. And I need y'all. Okay, hold up. I just scrolled. No, go back. I scrolled to the next one. Look at this here. Under examine is how large sections of the black intelligentsia, particularly those produced through congressional leadership pipelines, elite academia, philanthropic NGOs, and legacy black bourgeois institutions like Jack and Jill are structurally aligned with Zionism. Oh, boy, that's a whole lot right there. Let's see, who is this? He's got Free Palestine, Congo is bleeding, Free Haiti, and all of this here. Okay, I got it, but I'm looking on here. You know what I don't see? I don't see a single tweet on here where he's criticizing Texas Senator John Cornyn, who stands firmly behind Trump. I want y'all to understand the play here. So here's what the play. So what you're seeing are these constant and direct attacks from so-called progressives, because a lot of people are bots. Like earlier this week, there was some dude from New Zealand who was trashing Crockett. I was like, your ass ain't even American. I said, what do you know about the Texas Senate race? But see, what they're trying to do, and I need y'all to see what's going on. They're trying to target Crockett the way they did Vice President Kamala Harris. You need to understand what's going. And the smart play, black folk, do not fall for the banana in the tailpipe. I am not saying that the Palestinians having a right to live and breathe is not an issue. But you cannot tell me that the defining issue in the Texas Senate race is Israel. It's not. Michael.
Yeah, Roland, that was a master class in which you broke down, and I was making some of the same points. Driving the algorithm, just like they did during the 2024 election on TikTok, which is one of the reasons why I got the hell off of TikTok. Driving the algorithm, pushing Palestine, pushing the war between Israel and Palestine, and we see the effect of that. We see how you had all this opposition to the Biden-Harris administration, right? But when Trump gets in office, you don't see a lot of those same protests against Trump and allowing Netanyahu to basically do whatever he wants to do. Okay, and then we see one piece of advice I would give Jasmine Crockett, and I really hope she does win, is the facts, dispelling all these lies and things like that, put that on your campaign website. Put out social media videos dropping the facts. Don't wait on stupid ass people to do research, because the lie is neatly packaged and fed to them on a daily basis 24/7. So
but Michael, here's the deal. I understand your point, but here's the deal. Here's why that's a trap. They want her to engage on this issue. What Congresswoman Crockett should be saying is, like she did there, I'm going to talk about housing in East Texas, North Texas, South Texas, West Texas. I'm going to talk about jobs. I'm going to talk about affordability. I'm going to talk about what's happening with water quality. I'm going to talk about, see, that's what you do. See, Texas voters are going to be talking about determining who they vote for based upon who they can believe will deliver for Texas. So what these people, like this, like some guy I just saw, he was like, he goes, we won't vote for any candidate who voted to give Israel the weapons they use to blow up babies and burn people alive in tents, or anyone that takes money from AIPAC pro-Israel lobby. This is our red line. You have 3 years. Better get started. Okay, so he's been trashing Crockett. Got it. I'll say, here's the question. All right, what's Tallarico's position on this? Is he on the record?
I agree.
Now, here's the other thing. Okay, let's just say Crockett wins, Matt. So let's say Crockett wins the primary to this particular professor. So you got Crockett and you got Cornyn. Now who are you going to vote for? Because we know exactly where Cornyn is. See, this is where folk got to I get you can be a one-issue voter. But right now, there are some people in Dearborn, Michigan who are really upset right now. And they're like, where are the Democrats? I'm sorry, your city voted for Trump. These are policies you voted for because you voted for the person with those policies, Matt.
Well, I'm a Texas voter, and I haven't been as excited about having a potential Senate pick as between these two as I am right now. I mean, I think they're both fantastic choices, but I actually think you and Michael are both right. I don't think that it's one to the exclusion of the other. And what I mean is I think Michael's exactly right. I think she should correct the record on her position and what she's voted for and put it on her website. But to your point, I think she doesn't make that the focal point. I think if she doesn't answer it, then she runs the risk of them saying you didn't even answer it, and that's, proof of you doing what we're accusing you of. I think she has to address it, but I don't think she makes it a focal point of anything. And I think you're exactly right about this, and especially as it relates to John Cornyn. You talk about a Democrat not being elected since 1994. I read opinions from before I was alive that John Cornyn issued when he was either the AG or in the state Supreme Court or, all these other positions that he's held. And the point is, this is one of those guys that's been there forever, and he's going to do whatever is necessary for him to stay in office. And no one is going to question him about fealty to Israel or fealty really to Trump. Because what's especially interesting about somebody like Cornyn, he's one of the senior people in the Senate, and he has been licking Trump's boots much more vigorously than anybody else for the last several months because he's worried about getting unseated. So what we need to do is keep it real and talk to all the candidates about the same issue, number one. And the bigger thing than all of that is what we have allowed in politics is people to talk to politicians about things that they either have very little control over or no control over. And to that point, in our local judicial races, local judicial candidates were talking about abortion. Why? You call balls and strikes on the criminal cases that come in front of you in the district court. Who cares what your opinion is on abortion? We as voters have allowed those things to co-opt the actual bread and butter issues that these politicians can respectively deal with. And that is a bigger issue. That's an issue of poor education and a lack of understanding how things work. So we can't allow this race to be co-opted by something where she has a small, control over, and that should not control the whole race, because she should be talking about affordability for the 33 million Texans who deal with all the issues that we deal with because of Governor Abbott and his cronies in my hometown there in Austin.
Zachary?
Look, I'm going to tell you flat out, going back to, Michael, that's why we need you on TikTok, right? Like, I'm a content creator, of course, as well as an educator. And a huge focal point of what I do is combat misinformation and disinformation. And I have never seen any state-based race, any Senate race, any House of Representatives race have the level of misinformation that is organized as I'm seeing around Representative Crockett. And, so that's our job. Like that, yes, definitely put it on the website, put it out there. But it's our job as people who care about democracy, who are doing the work, fighting for the culture, fighting for the people, to educate and inform the people. And that's what I do on social media every single day. And I want to also say, when it comes to these people, Roland, when you put up you call them white progressives, white far leftist, white far leftists and their black friends, okay, and their black friends, they are out there on social media with an organized attack campaign against Jasmine Crockett, paid for by God knows who. I bet you can boomerang that back to Republican conservative money that wants to see her quickly fall in this race. And what you will not see, though, is the same level of scrutiny of Tellerico. And I get that he might be, for somebody, a great candidate or a great person, but I want to say publicly on this platform that I don't feel this man is qualified anywhere near the level of Representative Crockett. He has some more work to do. He has some more growing to do. When it comes to how to reach black people, when it comes to how to reach black people and the issues that are germane to us, he has a lot more research and learning to do. And when you talk about the issue of AIPAC, or you talk about the issue of Israel, or you talk about that, and where Jasmine has voted, don't you dare not talk about where Tellerico has voted. Don't dare forget the fact that during the third special session of the 88th Texas legislature in October of 2023, this man voted with everybody else to support and affirm Israel. That happened. He's on record having done it. It's right there. In addition to that, please don't forget this man's number one donor in 2024 being Donald Trump's best friend and your Texas homegirl, Roland, your Texas homegirl, Marion Edelson, being his number one donor. That to me tells me where this man's loyalties lie, not about Israel, but about the people who are funding him and maybe why they're funding him. That needs to be a part of the conversation too. I'm sorry.
So I just want to
bring it up.
I just want to show folks this here before I go to a break and go to my next guest, and that is here. So this is what it says. Black women are supporting Crockett per this poll, 92-6. Black men, 84-12. Latino women are supporting Crockett, 49-41. White women are supporting Tellerico, 46-45. Latino men are supporting Tellerico, 61-33. White men are supporting Tellerico, 62-32. Now, why am I showing y'all that? Because if you look at the polling, it shows that white voters are preferring Tellerico over Crockett. Latino voters, 51-41. But if you look at the polling, Latinas are supporting Crockett +8 over Tellerico. He has, though, a 28-point lead among Latino men. His lead among white men is 30 points. And so they almost tied when it comes to white women. That's critically important. Let me go right here as well. Right here. Favorable, unfavorable. Favorable, 85. Crockett, unfavorable, 77. Unfavorable, 9-2. Now, when you start going down here, let's see here. A proportion of black, Latino, and white voters who don't know enough about Tellerico. Black, 47, Latino, 15, white, 14. Now, when you go right here, this is the one that you have to pay attention to. Proportion of likely Democratic primary voters who believe the candidate will be most successful in mobilizing Democratic-leaning non-voting Texans to turn out to vote for them in 26. Look at the numbers. 53% believe it's Crockett. 34% believe Tellerico. 13% unsure. Now, when you go proportion of likely Democratic primary voters who believe the candidate would be the most successful in convincing Texans who regularly vote Republican to cross over and vote for them, Tellerico 58, Crockett 29. Here's the whole deal. Let me break this down. That means that what Crockett is saying, you're going to need people who do not vote to turn out to beat Republicans. She's saying the likelihood of Republicans crossing over to vote for a Democrat ain't high. So I want to show y'all that so you can understand exactly what the poll breaks down. All right, going to go to a break. We'll be right back. Lots to unpack in our second hour of Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Back in a moment.
This week on the other side of change.
Book bans, anti-intellectualism, and Trump's continued war on wisdom.
This is a coordinated backlash to progress. At the end of the day, conservatives realized that they couldn't win a debate on facts. They started using our language against us, right? Remember when we were all woke and the woke movement and all that kind of stuff? Now everything is anti-woke, right? When we were talking about including diversity, equity, inclusion, higher education, now it's anti-DEI. All this are efforts to suppress the truth because truth empowers people.
You're watching The Other Side of Change only on the Black Star Network.
Next on the Black Table with me, Greg Carr. America is being reshaped in real time by a group of 6 people, unelected and without any checks and balances. By the end of the current Supreme Court session, education, the workplace, who gets to elect our leaders, and so much more could radically change. This week, we reconvene our legal roundtable and look at what the new America may look like and how we should respond. That's next on the Black Table, right here on the Black Star Network.
Now that Roland Martin is willing to give me the blueprint, hey, Cyrus, I need to go to Tyler Perry and get another blueprint because I need some green money. The only way I can do what I'm doing, I need to make some money. So you'll see me working with Roland. Matter of fact, it's the Roland Martin and Cheryl Underwood show. Well, should it be the Cheryl Underwood show and the Roland Martin show? Well, whatever show it's going to be, it's going to be good.
Folks, in Mississippi, a 20-unit strip mall is being reimagined as a launch pad for Black entrepreneurship and community empowerment. The family behind the deal plans to fill the plaza with Black-owned businesses, financial education, and resources designed to close the wealth gap and keep dollars circulating in the community. It's a blueprint, they say, for rebuilding Black Wall Street in Mississippi. Joining us right now to talk about this is Tony Reimonenq Jr. and founder and CEO of LinkedUp Economic Empowerment Center. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well, Roland. How are you?
First of all, did I pronounce the name right? What's the last name?
It's Reimonenq.
Reimonenq. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
They're supposed to put it in phonetic spelling in the script. They didn't do it, so it's Reimonenq. Got it. And you're joined with?
This is my wife. Tell them who you are.
I'm Liz Reimonenq. How are you?
Doing great. Glad to have both of y'all here. So first of all, where's this plaza located?
We're at 4906 Old Highway 11 in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Okay.
In the Oak Grove community.
All right, so it's in Hattiesburg. So for folks who don't know, Black population there, and give us a sense of the type of businesses that are there.
We have a clinic there, a medical clinic. It's an amalgam of things. We have a trophy shop. We have a barber shop. Also, we have a hair salon. We have home care business, a construction office. We have a school, actually a Mississippi aesthetic school, the only Black-owned accredited school in the state of Mississippi is there. So we're real proud of that. Nail salons there. We have insurance office, real estate office, tax preparers.
Mental health
therapists. We have a U-Haul place that just moved in. Mm-hmm. So there's a variety of different types of businesses that are there. We have a boutique there, a gym. So there's a plethora of things there. So we are 100% occupied.
So were all of these businesses already existing in Hattiesburg, and if they all moved there, or are some of these new businesses?
No, the majority are new businesses. Mm-hmm. I would say when we bought that strip mall, it was run down, undermanaged, and we might have had maybe 2 to 3 of the businesses that we inherited that was there, and actually some of them that we inherited moved out. So all of these are new businesses.
Okay, all right. We
have one that's been there for a long time. Charlie's Trophy has been there for a long time.
Got it. And so. So how are you imagining it? Is it important to say, hey, now you sort of have a central location as opposed to someone being over here and over here, over here and over here?
Yes. So the idea behind the Black Wall Street 2.0, we call it 2.0 because, as you know, the original Wall Street was formed during a time of segregation, right? It was a response to racism. And so O.W. Gurley, the guy who founded and developed the Greenwood District, bought the land and he sold pieces of the land to Blacks. And those who didn't have money, he actually funded their businesses and they repaid him back in a loan. And that was a response to racism. Well, now we're integrated. So now Black Wall Street 2.0 is for anybody who's been locked out of this economic system due to race, gender, non-English speaking proficiency, and also rural residency. So that's the mission that the LinkedUp banner flies above. And a offshoot of that mission, extension of that mission is this commercial property that we say affordable and desirable commercial office and retail spaces.
All right, then. Questions for my panel. Zachary, you first.
Shout out to my family from Mississippi and friends. So thankful and grateful for what you're doing and how you are moving work forward. What I want to know is what has been the biggest challenge that you guys have faced in the work that you're currently doing? And how have you overcome?
Wow. Man, so of course, funding is always a challenge. When we bought that property, man, I'll tell you, it took us a year to finally close, right? I did everything that they tell you to do, right? I had 800 credit score. I had the money in the bank for the down payment, and I had banking relationships. But I kept running into a brick wall at first. My bankers would tell me, hey, well, we're just not open for this type of business right now. So we end up doing some creative financing, and I end up getting actually a better deal than any bank could give me anyway. And so since then, we've purchased, this is actually our second building. We had one prior that we bought in 2015 that was in foreclosure. And, the same thing, it was rundown building, had vagrants living in it, right? And so we renovated it and made affordable and desirable office spaces. And also, in addition to that, we also have housing, residential, in rural areas that we make affordable and desirable. But as I said, funding is always a challenge.
Michael.
All right, so this is a great story, and I've taught entrepreneurship for 7 years and have studied Black Wall Street, Greenwood District. So there's a special place in my heart for this. Question I had was two parts. One, do you have an anchor store to drive traffic like a grocery store, which is an anchor store which will drive traffic to those other businesses? And what type of weekend events do you have to drive traffic to those various businesses that you have there at the plaza?
Man, that's a great question. Unfortunately, we don't have a grocery store that drives traffic, but the traffic driver is our barbershop and our hair salon drives, and also the school that's there drives businesses there. We also have a local caterer there, Alicia's Creative Catering. Shout out to Alicia. Okay. She does great work, and those types of businesses drive the traffic there. Right. Also, we have a state of the art, I would say, nail salon there. It goes by the name of Polish, and those women are top of the line, and they drive a lot of business. So there's an amalgam of different businesses there that drive individuals to the property.
Okay, thank you.
Matt?
Yeah, so this is a brilliant idea, and I wish you continued prosperity. And my only question is a little bit pessimistic, but I have to ask, in this environment, we know that anything all black is under attack. So what have you seen either from the state of Mississippi or from this Trump administration in terms of attacking y'all for having a homogeneously black business environment like this? Have you had any kind of pushback from the state or federal government?
Well, let me say, so it's not all black. We have a variety of businesses that are in the plaza. And that's why we named it the 2.0, right? Because it's the spirit of Black Wall Street, but we're living again in integrated times. So it's for anybody who's been locked out of the system. And on this journey, we know that Blacks are further behind than anybody else on this journey of wealth creation. So we have special attention given to help, Blacks understand business, like profit and loss statements, balance sheets, depreciation schedules, and things like that. And also we have personal finance classes that we teach, and anybody can come, right? Anybody can come. It's open to anybody. So, but to answer your question, pushback is not verbal, but, it's silent stares. Like, who do you think he is, right? But this is not necessarily a racist thing. It's an economic thing. And anybody who understands economics understands that it takes everybody to play in the game in order for economics to work in our cities, in our state, and eventually the world. And our job is to make sure that no one is locked out.
All right, then. Well, certainly congratulations. And hopefully folks will support those businesses and we'll see their plaza grow and thrive.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Roland.
All right. Thanks a bunch. Folks, we're going to come back with headlines with Brittany Noble right here on the Black Star Network.
If in this country right now, you have people get up in the morning and the only thing they can think about is how many people they can hurt, and they got the power, that's the time for mourning.
For better or worse, what makes America special, it's that legal system that's supposed to protect minorities from the tyranny of the majority.
We are at a point of a moral emergency. We must raise a voice of outrage. We must raise a voice of compassion. And we must raise a voice of unity.
We are not in a crisis of party versus party. We are in a crisis of civilization, a human rights crisis, and a crisis of democracy itself. And guess what? You've been chosen to make sure that those that would destroy, those that would hate, don't have the final say, and they don't ultimately win.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Godfrey, the funniest dude on the planet. And you're watching
Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Folks, time for our Black Star Network headlines with Brittany Noble.
Roland, the Trump administration has ordered federal agencies to eliminate jobs and programs focused on environmental justice, rolling back safeguards that disproportionately protect communities of color. One immediate impact: the Justice Department has now withdrawn from its agreement with the city of Houston to crack down on illegal dumping. A 2023 federal investigation found that a Northeast Houston neighborhood had been overwhelmed by trash, medical waste, abandoned mattresses, even dead bodies. The DOJ concluded that the city had failed to protect residents of the historically Black community of Trinity and Houston Gardens. Under the first year of federal monitoring, dumping sites were cleared more quickly. The city added new workers and sanitation crews deployed new trucks. But with federal oversight now gone, advocates say the city's responsiveness has declined. Well, attorney Benjamin Crump wins a $779.3 million wrongful death verdict in the case of 51-year-old security guard Louis Butler, who died while protecting a cashier. He was fatally shot during a 2023 armed robbery at an internet cafe in Havana, Florida. Evidence showed the owners put the worker at risk by knowing illegal gambling was taking place and not alerting police about a previous robbery. Authorities say the gun stolen from the property during the first robbery was used in the shooting that killed Butler. The verdict stands among the largest negligent security wrongful death awards in Florida history. Well, the U.S. Department of Transportation is waiving $16.7 million in fines against American Airlines over violations involving passengers with disabilities, including failing to provide assistance to passengers and mishandling wheelchairs. Instead of paying the penalty, American will be required to reinvest the full amount into improvements specifically designed to benefit travelers with disabilities. As part of the agreement, the airline will roll out new mobile devices and software upgrades to track and document passenger wheelchairs. Well, Damon Carr reports in the Chicago Defender that Black men are disappearing from America's college campuses. Out of nearly 19 million college students nationwide, Black men make up only 4.6%. At HBCUs, the trend is even more alarming. Black male enrollment has fallen by roughly 25% since 2010. And for those who do enroll, the path to graduation is steep. Only about 40% of Black men who start a bachelor's degree finish within 6 years. Well, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 1 in 6 individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities also had diabetes in 2020. Those with cognitive and physical disabilities are more likely to live sedentary lifestyles, leading to an increased likelihood of obesity, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol. Reports indicate 30% of individuals with IDD are Black, brown, or low income. Well, those are your headlines for today, Friday, December 12th. Roland, back to you in the studio.
All right. We surely appreciate it. Thanks a lot. All right, y'all. So I've really been watching all of this stuff happening in Minneapolis. How Donald Trump is attacking Somali Americans. But y'all do know a lot of these same folk endorse Trump. I mean, it reminds me of Dearborn, Michigan, where that happened as well, where the Democratic mayor, pull up his quote. The mayor of Dearborn, Michigan, complained that Democrats weren't doing enough to pull the graphic up. I want the video, I want the graphic. Okay, yeah, there's a graphic. There's a pull quote that it wasn't doing enough to stand up against the hate that they had been facing. And I thought that was interesting because, well, the very people who you support are the people who are in your town. They're the same people who literally voted for Trump. It's like the farmers complaining about the tariffs. Y'all voted for them. So how y'all mad? This was the quote in the Washington Post from the mayor of Dearborn. He said, the fact that we do not have a strong counter response from Democratic elected officials at all levels of government is the most frightening, especially when the vitriol is coming from the highest office in the world. Communities are looking for people with courage, people with a backbone who are willing to stand up. Okay, I get that. I get that. But Trump won Dearborn. So shouldn't the mayor be challenging people in Dearborn, leaders in Dearborn who supported Trump? I mean, same thing in Minneapolis. This is a video of Somali American leaders endorsing Donald Trump in the 2024 presidential race.
And the reason why is because he's a fighter. That's it. We like fighters. More importantly, the left left us. They left us. 33% of our kids at third grade cannot read at grade level. We went from the 6th to what? 19 now? In Minnesota in education? I mean, we are failing in every standard. 8th graders, 60% cannot do math at grade level. These are our kids. We talk about economic conditions here. Our conditions is horrible. We can't afford anything as working class and middle class people. Now, please understand this. We love our brothers and sisters who are Democrats, but you left us. And because the left left us, join the right, vote for Trump 2024, vote for George Rape 2024, vote for Maisie Young in St. Paul 2024, vote for Tajud in CD3 2024, vote for Tom Emma, our lion, out of St. Cloud. Farhan is here and is endorsing him. And please go out and vote, because voting for Trump without soldiers is giving him a failure. So please vote. Again, for the school boards, we have a ton of people running who are in the school board from all over the state. And please go vote for the Republican Party this time. Thank you so much.
Okay. Here's Trump talking about people just like him.
Many of these people are criminals. Many of these people are people that shouldn't be here. And many of them have been gotten out. I mean, we've gotten out a lot of the people that, we've taken a lot of them out of here.
But
they came in
legally, right?
Yeah, I know. This deal, sorry. Many are wonderful. Yeah, I'm sure.
I said many are here legally, though. What should they think in terms of their prospects?
Well, they can't be happy, okay? They can't be happy because what's taking place between that, if you look at Somalia, they're taking over Minnesota, and we got a lot of problems with the gangs, with all of the things taking place in Minnesota. We have an incompetent governor, we have a dope governor. They can't be happy about what's going on. And if you talk about the Afghans, there's a problem because so many bad ones came in on the planes. They just walked in. Whoever the strongest people were physically in a way, but whoever the strongest, they got on the planes. There was no checking. They just swamped the planes. They took off. We had no idea who they were. Yeah, do you want to ask a question behind?
Me? Hi, sir. Happy
Sure.
Thanksgiving.
Hi.
What do the Somalians have to do with this Afghan guy who shot the national?
Nothing, but Somalians have caused a lot of trouble. They're ripping us off for a lot of money. There's a tremendous amount of money going back to Somalia. What the hell are we paying money to Somalia for? But they're ripping off our country at a level that few people have been able to see before. That's about the only thing. You talk about competence. We have Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country and our Constitution. And she comes from a country with practically no country. It's devastated, it's crime-ridden, it's a mess, it's a disgrace. And we took their people at a tremendous... We're not taking their people anymore. We're not taking their people. And we're getting a lot of their people out because they're nothing but trouble. Okay, thank you very much.
I wonder what that Somalian is saying right now. You got Muslims in Dearborn. Oh, they're complaining hard because MAGA's there protesting them. You got Latinos crying. Oh, my God, I voted for Trump. I can't believe they've deported my husband, my wife, my mom, my dad. He told you he was going to do this. The man called your countries shithole countries last time he was there. Oh, I get it. See, some of y'all, immigrants of color, y'all thought y'all were special. Y'all thought y'all were different. Y'all were like, oh, no, he not talking to me. He talking about them. No. He didn't. If that clip I just played, he went, yeah, some of y'all said there's some good ones, whatever. He just dismissed y'all. And he called your country shithole countries. And I heard there was some African immigrants who was like, well, he right, he not lying. Now he's sending y'all asses back. He don't want y'all. If you are an African immigrant, a Jamaican immigrant, a Bermudan, Caribbean, if you from it, Trump don't want your ass here. MAGA don't want y'all here. Winsome Sears, black woman who ran for governor of Virginia, Jamaican immigrant, did Trump endorse her ass? Because this is what he thinks about all of y'all black immigrants. And some of y'all got issues with African Americans. Y'all in the same boat as us as it relates to these white folk. This is Trump just 48 hours ago.
Announced a permanent pause on third world migration, including from hellholes like Afghanistan, Haiti, Somalia, and many other countries. I didn't say shithole, you did. Remember I said that to the senators, they came in, the Democrats. They wanted to be bipartisan. So they came in and they said, this is totally off the record. Nothing mentioned here. We want to be honest because our country was going to hell. And we had a meeting. And I said, why is it we only take people from shithole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few. From Denmark, do you mind sending us a few people? Send us some nice people, do you mind? But we always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships.
That's how he feels about you. Now, I know some of y'all, again, some of y'all think y'all are the special immigrants. Some of y'all think, oh, no. He's not talking about me. Stephen Miller, that white supremacist, went on TV this week and said, you know what? If we get rid of these damn immigrants, he didn't specify which ones, we could be doing so much better in America. Listen.
We talk about test scores. Well, if you subtract immigration out of test scores, all of a sudden our test scores skyrocket. If you subtract immigration out of health care, all of a sudden we don't have nearly the size of the health care challenges our country faces. If you subtract immigration out of public safety, all of a sudden we don't have violent crime in so many of our cities. Issue after issue, we talk about these things that they just happen to us. The schools just suddenly fail. Violent crime just suddenly explodes. The deficit just suddenly skyrockets. These are a result of social policy choices that we made through immigration.
Matt, what Trump and his people are saying is, we want white people. We want white immigrants. And I hope these black and Latino immigrants are paying attention because they don't want y'all asses here.
So I think it was Francesca Ramsey that said, I never thought the leopards would eat my face. I think that was the entire preceding part of this segment. That's all it is. It's people, like you said, who thought they were going to be the special one that was not going to be on the shit end of Trump's stick, and they are there now. And you're right. That's all it is. They could not be clear about wanting whiteness. I mean, that's why Brother Alvin Brown was on the show earlier, right? The only people they're firing are black people who have ascended to these positions. It's very clear. They're not hiding that fact. And, you know, that's a linchpin of their policies, that they just want whiteness. And, you know, they're not hiding that fact. And to me, I don't understand how any person after the first Trump administration, especially somebody from an immigrant population, considering his long history before he was ever president of how he treated non-white people, could vote for him and then act aghast when he does exactly what he told you he was going to do, what he has said, the rhetoric, and, you know, the people that surround him. None of this is surprising. It's just more brazen now. And I think what he has done is foment a lot of that same desire to be openly hostile to non-white people and to desire a white world for your average white American who has felt embattled for whatever, decades, right? Now they're coming out and a lot more brazen about, espousing these kinds of thoughts. But these are also the same people who will tell you in Texas that they're proud Czechs or proud Germans and their families have been here for X number of, generations when they immigrated here. And they will one-off their own immigration. But when it comes to anybody that doesn't look like them, they will call them everything but a child of God.
All right, Matt, and then you got to go. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Real quick, though, before I go, at some point we're going to talk about how Texas beat A&M. You keep trying to escape it. I'm not going to let you.
I'm sorry.
So,
the college.
Whenever you're ready for that.
I got a question. I got a question for you.
No.
I got a question for you. No. I got a quick question. Did you hang your jersey up? Because y'all not in the playoffs.
All I know is.
Hold on. Are y'all in the playoffs?
Beating y'all.
In fact, we tried.
I've been on this show.
In fact, we tried to help y'all get into the playoffs because. But you know what? I'm only talking to playoff teams. Did Howard make the? Hold up. Did your Asheville school Howard make the playoffs? Oh no, I'm sorry. That's Prairie View. Hold up. That's Prairie View in Jackson. That's Prairie View and South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl tomorrow.
You can talk as fast as you want. You can talk over me if you like.
Oh, I'm not. All I know is on December 20th.
You came to
on December 20th. On December 20th, Miami will be playing at Kyle Field. Your stadium will be real empty.
When I text you, you talking about the offensive coordinator.
Oh, he did suck. I'm glad his ass gone. I'm glad he gone. But I do got to ask you this question, man. I got to ask you a question. Are y'all playing in the postseason? Or y'all
good to see you,
or y'all playing?
I hope you feel better about that.
Or y'all playing in a Poulan Weed Eater Independence Bowl?
Say what you need to, bruh.
Guess what?
You've been running, and you know the time was coming.
And you are 9-3, and you're not the top 12 teams left. There we go, Zachary. These immigrants they have learned a valuable lesson. Trump don't want y'all. He took your votes, and y'all believed the okie doke, and now he's crushing y'all.
You know, first off, as a Mississippi State Bulldog, I don't know if I can say shit because we sure ain't playing nowhere in the
You can't say a damn thing. I don't even know if y'all even were bowl eligible.
We are not.
There you go.
But our day will come back. We will one day we will rise again.
No, you won't.
You know, Roland, when you look at what happened with the Somali community in Minnesota, and you hear that rhetoric, you know, I have such torn feelings. I do not want to see any community terrorized by ICE. I don't want to see any community in America. But when I hear, like the gentleman that you highlighted, now I've actually seen multiple videos of this man who has said things about Trump, who Trump has called his children garbage. Trump called this man's children garbage, and he is still defending it. This man literally said he still supports Republicans in this country. To this day, he still supports them. I have heard other Somali American voters from Minnesota say the exact same thing. So I'm really, really torn. At some point, people get what they vote for, and we have to let them get what they vote for. They have chosen to allow their communities to be terrorized by the Trump administration, and there isn't a whole lot that we can do. The real root cause of all of this is anti-blackness in the African diaspora. That's the damn problem. That's a big piece of it. And somehow, somewhere, we're going to have those hard conversations with our brothers and sisters inside the diaspora and outside the diaspora and talk about why we're here and what we can do about what bullshit they have subscribed to that makes them think that they do not want to be a part of the greater collective. That's really one day, maybe not in this lifetime, but one lifetime thereafter, that conversation is going to have to happen because it's only getting bigger and bigger. And things like we talked about Twitter earlier, social media only exists right now in some platforms to continuously divide us and create even bigger divisions. And we've got to find a way to overcome that so that we can win the bigger picture, the bigger prize.
These folks are learning the hard way, Michael. There's a reason we say hashtag. We tried to tell you. There's a reason why we say on this show, don't blame me. I voted for the black woman.
Absolutely, Roland. And I've been talking about this at the African History Network. I've been posting about it. The gentleman that you showed in the beginning, his name is Mohammed Amin Ahmed, and he was interviewed by Whitney Wild on CNN. And he said that his children are not garbage. And he said he hopes Donald Trump differentiates between the good Somalians and the other ones.
And he didn't.
I'm paraphrasing.
He didn't.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. See, this is what we've been talking about here on this show. This is what I've been saying. White supremacy and racism attacks all black people, regardless of your religion, regardless of your country of origin, regardless of the language that you speak. Dr. John Henry Clark, one of our great Grandmaster Scholar warriors, whose picture you see behind me, he taught us that the white man is a better Pan-Africanist than you because he don't want none of you. And this is what this white supremacist Donald Trump continues to show us, revoking temporary protective status from Cameroonians, Haitians, Somalians, things of this nature. Now, what we're seeing here is him focusing in on Somalis, attacking a black woman, Representative Ilhan Omar. And the reason why so many Somalians, some of them, why they supported Trump, we have to be honest. Amongst many Muslims, many Muslim men are sexist. And this is why a lot of them voted in Dearborn, Michigan for Donald Trump against Vice President Kamala Harris. So you can't, on the one hand, say that you voted for Trump because you thought he'd be better for the economy, but 23 Nobel Prize winning economists said that Vice President Kamala Harris' economic policies would be better for America than Donald Trump's because they analyzed both of them. You can't say you voted for the economy when Goldman Sachs said the biggest boost to the U.S. economy will come from Vice President Kamala Harris's economic plans instead of Donald Trump's. And they said it's mostly from increased tariffs on imports and tighter immigration policies that will hurt the economy coming from Trump. So the economists are telling you this.
Yep.
No, and we have to have a conversation with our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, and we have to understand the same people who taught black people to hate many of us taught the Africans in the diaspora to hate us as well. This is coming from white supremacy. So we have to have this conversation.
Well, it's real simple. You're going to learn today. You're going to learn today. All right, y'all. Alabama has long struggled with higher than average infant mortality rates. According to the Alabama Department of Public Health, the state's infant mortality rate was 7.1 babies per 1,000 live births that died within the first year of life in 2024. That number is even higher for African Americans in the state. According to the ADPH data, the infant mortality rate among black folks in Alabama, the rate was 11.8 per 1,000. For white folks in Alabama, 5.4. Disparities are very, very clear. Let's talk about the Alabama Birth Equity Initiative. Tia Freeman is Communications Director for the Yellowhammer Fund, a reproductive justice organization dedicated to providing support for abortion access and advocating for reproductive rights in Alabama, Mississippi, and the Deep South. Tia, this is real simple. I'm confused. I thought Alabama is pro-life land. I thought Mississippi is pro-life land. I thought all of these southern states, they some pro-life. I mean, the reason the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, that was a Mississippi case. So how could pro-life land have high infant mortality rates?
Child, the truth is that when it comes to this discussion of people being pro-life, we all know that pro-life really just means forced birth. So when you're talking about pro-life land, you're only talking about the state impeding on your right to terminate a pregnancy and expand your family, not about accessing care, not about making sure you have safe and equitable and culturally competent and relevant, birthing practices, not about if your kids can eat when they're here. It's just about forcing you into expanding your family or becoming a parent in the long run. And I don't know about y'all, but like my grandma always used to say, a hard head make a soft bottom, right? So like this is one of those times where people were yelling and ranting and raving about this would never happen. Like just because abortion goes away doesn't mean that other people there's gonna be some consequence down the line, when in actuality, that's exactly what we've been saying will happen, because it's just too vague in the legal language. Doctors don't know when they can intervene and when they can't. So it's a lot of people struggling with maternal health. We were already in crisis as Black people, and now that's being exacerbated along with every other maternal and reproductive health issue.
The reason I keep saying this is because I would think the places that are so pro-life would really be locked in and loaded and focusing on delivering healthy babies. Oh, I'm sorry. I just simply think they're really anti-abortion.
And you would be correct in that assumption. I think you have to look at the legacy in the regions and the landscapes that we're referring to, right? The work that we do at Yellowhammer Fund services the Deep South. We're based in Alabama, but we also support folks in Mississippi, in the Panhandle of Florida, and a couple other states across the South. And those are areas that have had a long colonial, racist, misogynistic, and misogynoir history with birthing folks. You got to think about when folks first came over here and they used Black bodies to, bring in more slave labor to once slavery was in part abolished. They tried to curtail and force Black people not to be able to have to have children. So you're not really talking about a pro-life movement who cares about the people. They care about the capital, and they care about making sure that their initiatives, which is an anti-abortion initiative, gets put forward, right? Especially when you think about the ways in which racism, white Christian nationalism is on the rise. They need more white people to have babies. In the same way you were talking about immigration, they want less of us, right? So all of that is is having an intersecting moment right now when we're talking about maternal health, because we're not the people that they've ever wanted to have healthy and whole families.
So with this initiative, how do you actually lower the mortality rate for African Americans? What's your plan?
We do it by going back to our roots. We come from a long lineage of granny midwives, Black birthing folks. So one of the things that we're doing is making sure that the midwives that are in our region are being able to be trained. They're not having financial burdens and barriers to being able to get their licensure. So how we're doing that is we're paying people to complete their midwifery school. We're paying preceptors to work with midwives. And we're making sure that people are getting culturally competent care, right? This is not just about having certain access to certain legal rights, right? Where you have the right to something or you don't have the right to something. This is coming from a reproductive justice framework where people are able to really have comprehensive care that honors the dignity and humanity that they're coming with and also respects the cultural nuance that we're all living in. So along with paying for midwifery services, we're also expanding that care into rural areas to make sure that as hospitals are being extracted from rural communities, that we're filling that gap by making sure they still have access to quality health care along with resource distribution.
All right, questions from our panelists. Zachary, you first.
So this is like my day, right? Where Mississippi's all in the house as a Mississippi native. I want to know just a little bit more about what you're doing in Mississippi and how it's had an impact there.
Yeah, so the Alabama Birth Initiative is focused on Alabama. I want to be specific when I'm saying that, but Yellowhammer Fund as an organization works across the Deep South. So the work that we're doing in Mississippi looks like abortion travel assistance. So as you may know, a lot of states in the South have total abortion bans. Some do have some exceptions to what's allowed. But in Mississippi, we're helping abortion seekers travel outside the state to get legal access to care, as well as distributing emergency contraceptives, which is, for those who don't know, those are like Plan B's, the morning after pill. And so we ship that in to Mississippi to whoever requests it. That way they can have that either provisionally, so in case they need it down the road, or if they need it because of an instances where they need access to emergency contraceptives.
Yeah, very briefly, because my nieces, all my family still lives there. What can we do? Like, how can we get more information? How can we support what you guys are doing, specifically for my family and friends in Mississippi?
Yeah, you can go to our website. It is www.yellowhammerfund.org. That's where they can get access to the emergency contraception through the mail. They can also keep up with all of the things that we have going on. In 2026, we're expanding family justice to Mississippi. Our family justice initiatives looks like making sure folks have diapers, making sure folks have formula, supporting families. So a lot of times when we're talking about reproductive rights, we're only centering abortion. At Yellowhammer Fund, we really want to be comprehensive and center reproductive justice as a whole, which means also supporting families who want to have families and expand their families. And then you can follow us on social media at Yellow Fund across all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Blue Sky, all the things.
Michael?
Tia, when we go back 100 years or go back to the late 1900s or late 1800s, I should say, midwives were more popular back then, okay? And then women started having more babies in hospitals, and then they fell out of favor. Now, in the past 10 to 15 years, we see a resurgence in the popularity of midwives, doulas, in the African-American community. What do you attribute that resurgence to? And why do you think, why is it healthier, so to speak, to have a midwife than just a traditional birth in a hospital?
It boils down to the medical industrial complex wasn't working for us. The reason that we started having births take place in hospitals had less to do with the fact that we lost favor with our own midwives and doulas, and more to do with the fact that capitalism always gonna cap. Doctors started developing obstetrics a lot more and seeing that was something they can get money from. It could be profitable for them. They started shifting folks in, criminalizing and demonizing midwifery and doula services, thereby forcing people to go into hospitals. And I think now we're coming back out of that when we see that the numbers aren't lining up with the care. So we've been forced into hospitals, but yet we're having an endemic of maternal crises. People are losing their lives. People are becoming disabled. People are just having traumatic cultural experiences. And so now they're trying to get some of that autonomy back by going back to more ancestral practices, like midwives and doulas, that are more in alignment with making sure we have safe and supported birthing practices.
All right, then. Tia, if people want more information, where do they go?
They can follow us on social media at Yellow Funds, and then they can also go to our website and go to ABEI, which is Alabama Birth Equity Initiative. That's the website for the coalition, and you can find all information you need to figure out how you can support us both financially and how you can make sure that you get access to resources.
All right, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, folks, going to a break. We come back. 50 years of the National Association of Black Journalists anniversaries today. We'll talk about that next right here on Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network.
This week on The Other Side of Change.
Book bans, anti-intellectualism, and Trump's continued war on wisdom.
This is a coordinated backlash to progress. At the end of the day, conservatives realized that they couldn't win a debate on facts. They started using our language against us, right? Remember when we were all woke and the woke movement and all that kind of stuff? Now everything is anti-woke, right? When we were talking about including diversity, equity, inclusion, and higher education, now it's anti-DEI. All this are efforts to suppress the truth because truth empowers people.
You're watching The Other Side of Change only on the Black Star Network.
Hey, I'm Tasha Cobbs, and you are watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. But I need a little filter. I need something. Blow me out. Make me look 35.
Folks, today marks the 50th anniversary of the National Association of Black Journalists. You can see I'm rocking the NABJ. This was the shirt given out at our convention this year at our J Shop. And so this is it. 44 journalists gathered in a hotel room in Washington, D.C. To launch what is known as NABJ. These pioneering black journalists were catching lots of hell in newsrooms, and they decided on December 12, 1975, that they needed a trade organization to speak to and represent the interests of NABJ. The first president was Chuck Stone, my alpha brother. Chuck Stone, of course, and there's no shock that the color scheme of NABJ is black and gold. And so it launched on this day all across the country over the last year. There's been a documentary airing at film festivals telling the story of NABJ. This here is a preview of that documentary. Wrong thing. That's the wrong camp. Please come. Guys, what are we doing? Thank you. I'm playing the documentary. That's not the documentary. All right. So here's the deal. This is the documentary for NABJ.
In December of 1975, I'm in Washington, and the black elected officials are meeting.
Black journalists from all over the country were coming to cover this conference.
I remember taking the train down and getting off the train in D.C.
It was Chuck Stone's idea. Very savvy political player and visionary, too, in many ways.
He had this kind of missionary zeal about him. From afar, if you look at a group of black journalists, you think, well, these are all very impressive people. But within that group, there's always one who rises a little higher, who who speaks a bit more forcefully. Chuck Stone was that person to our group in 1975.
It's not the first time it had been tried, but none of the other attempts really got off the ground and flourished.
We started it in order to have some means of communication between us, to protect us, and to protest if necessary.
A sheet of paper was passed around at the meeting on which we signed our name.
There were a few people who were, I don't think I can sign it because if they found out I was here, I might not have a job. It was a very brave thing.
Some employers told people that you basically have to pick between your employment here and your association with the National Association of Black Journalists.
So the whole idea was to improve the number of blacks in journalism overall in America, to improve the treatment of those who had jobs, and to improve the coverage of the black community.
You could be the only black person on the staff. So it was also lonely in a lot of cases because you didn't have anyone who looked like you.
I was essentially a clerk and did a little bit of helping around the newsroom. I must have said, I wonder if I could ever be on air. And the news director told me, oh, no. You don't look black enough to qualify.
We challenged journalism to get the numbers up.
Just weeks after our founding, the editor and publisher article was very important. It basically put us on the map in the industry, let folks know that this is an organization that they need to pay attention to.
I just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
She was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black.
You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network.
When Donald Trump was doing his antics, to see how controversial, how we had gotten into the level of news making, because that was what the organization's convention was created for. It was a news makers convention.
Trump appeared at the convention as part of his campaign's drive to court black voters.
Donald Trump da buna katıldı Chicago'da ve
na conferência da Associação de Jornalistas Negros dos Estados Unidos ontem em Chicago.
Safe spaces are so very important. And so when I think of what the founders have created, it is, in my heart and spirit, a safe space. And frankly, beyond that, this organization has had to hold publications and entities accountable for how they have treated black journalists, and that's a big deal.
Some people will help found and then they just go on about their merry way. No, these people are here, they are involved, they are still teaching, they are still learning, they are still fighting.
The founders thought when they came together that we're going to form a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a family, and we will support each other and we'll be here for each other.
To see the veterans that still are dedicated to this organization and like me want to still come and learn and share what we have learned just fills my heart.
So, folks, that documentary is airing, again, at film festivals all across the country. Now, today, NABJ announced a new initiative that I'm actually going to be leading. It is our Jubilee Endowment Campaign, celebrating our 50th anniversary. Our president, Aaron Haynes, posted this video today talking about this campaign. So check this out.
Courageous black journalists gathered in Washington, D.C. and made a bold declaration that our voices, our stories, and our leadership are essential to American journalism and to American democracy. that moment of vision and defiance gave birth to the National Association of Black Journalists. And for half a century, NABJ has shaped our profession and expanded who gets to tell the story of this country. So today, as we honor that legacy, we're also building for the future our founders imagined but could not fully see. On our historic anniversary, as president, I am proud to announce the launch of the NABJ Jubilee Endowment Campaign, the most ambitious capital campaign in our history. So over the next 4 years, our goal is to raise $15 million to create a permanent endowment that secures NABJ's future and strengthens our ability to recruit, train, support, and elevate the next generation of Black journalists. So we're doing this now because the stakes have never been higher. From newsroom layoffs and consolidation, to AI disruption, to coordinated attacks on DEI that disproportionately harm Black journalists in our communities. A strong endowment gives us power. The power to stand firm, plan boldly, and protect the pipeline for decades to come. Our founders built the foundation, and now it's our turn to build the future. So I hope you'll join us.
So, folks, let me unpack this. And so we heard Aaron say there, and Michael, folks have heard me say this on this show, that what is required right now is required for Black institutions to have to lean on the collective and look inward. If you look at many of our Black organizations, nonprofits as well, what we've done is we've had corporate support, we've had different grant programs like that, but we're seeing the anti-DEI attacks and things along those lines. And so what our goal with this initiative is to say, hey, let's raise this over the next 4 years. And so we announced something called the Golden Circle. And so if you look at the website there with this Jubilee Endowment, we have different levels that folk can give. And the Golden Circle, the goal is to get 100 members, or get 100 members, or get 100 corporations, it does not matter, to contribute $100,000. Now, that's $25,000. You go to my iPad, see the campaign levels. So that's $100,000. So that's the minimum. So that's 4 payments, $25,000 each. There's a whole bunch of anchors out there. Listen, they're in a big tax bracket, so they need some write-offs. The Silver Circle, donors contributing anywhere from $50,000 to $99,000. The Bronze Circle as well. And so what this then does, folks, we talk about endowment campaigns. We see Mackenzie Scott, donations that she has made to HBCUs. That's dramatically increased their endowment campaigns. So let's say you have a $15 or $20 million endowment. Let's just say it's $20 million. Or for $50 million we're raising. Well, if you're investing your endowment, and if you just get a 10% return on your endowment, then that's $1.5 million you can take to fund initiatives. And so the endowment is to be able to invest and maintain your programming for a long period of time. The reality is that in NABJ, we've got investments, things along those lines, but we don't have a large endowment. And so this campaign is about ensuring the future of NABJ. And I have been saying all of our Black institutions have to be thinking this way, and we can't just solely hope for philanthropic endeavors. I would love for Mackenzie Scott or some other philanthropist to say, hey, NABJ matters, and so I'm going to donate $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, $15, $20 million. But this is also about going to our members and going to other African Americans saying, hey, Black journalists matter, Black media matters, and we've got to ensure there's a future for Black journalists to be trained and for them to be to go into a place where they can be nurtured, trained, and supported. And so that's why we're launching this Jubilee Endowment campaign. Michael, your thoughts?
I think this is fantastic, and we see African American media under attack. We see, this past year with Juneteenth, for instance, and Juneteenth events across the country had less corporate sponsorship, less vendors. You talked about NABJ conference a few months ago, how there was less corporate sponsorship. I think we saw the same thing with Essence as well. And we've seen this attack from the Trump administration on DEI. And when you have less corporate sponsorship, then these events, these organizations can't grow as much as they can. They can't do as much as they need to because they don't have the funding. So we have to rely on cooperative economics, pull our resources together, and fund NABJ, and I'll be at the NABJ conference in 2026 as well. I was there a few years ago when you were here, Roland, in Detroit, and they debuted that film Black Klansman with Denzel Washington Jr., Denzel Washington's son. I think that's his name. And so this is fantastic. And
No, Michael. Denzel's son is John David Washington.
Yeah, John David Washington. Yeah, okay. To me, it's Denzel Washington Jr. But yeah, John David Washington. Yeah, that's right. John David Washington. Good film, by the way. But we have to tell our own stories, okay? And we have to fund this as well. So this is, being in media, and I've been in media 15 years. I've worked for Black-owned media. I've worked for white-owned media. And it's hard being in Black-owned media. Okay, it's hard being an African American in media who does the research and wants to tell the truth. So one in the documentary that you just showed, they talked about when they signed their name on the sheet and the founding members, things like this, and a few of them said, "Hey, I can't sign because I may lose my job," things like that. That's real. That still exists today. Okay, taking certain stances and telling the truth. So this is fantastic, Roland.
Absolutely. And so, folks, the details are at nabjonline.org. Go to my iPad. We have the information down here for wire payments and ACH payments. And I'll be getting with our national office to have links on the site for you to be able to give directly right there on the website. And so again, happy 50th anniversary to NABJ. And I can tell y'all right now, and I have no problem saying this, I pledged Alpha. I crossed the burning sands April 27, 1989. I joined NABJ. I attended the first conference, and I think it was in March. We were in Little Rock, Arkansas, for our regional convention in 1989. I was elected to the National Board as student representative in August of 1989, our convention in New York City. And there's been no organization that's played a bigger role in my career as a journalist than NABJ. And so when we talk about why professional organizations matter, when you have the ability to be a student and meet prominent journalists, when you're able to get people who are mentors, that video right there showing the founders, when you're talking about Dwayne Wickham and Vernon Jarrett and Les Payne and Chuck Stone, these are all individuals who I was able to talk to, meet with, sit at their feet, learn from. And so it's critically important that we, the next generation, support these organizations so the next generation has an organization and a convention to be able to go to. And I think a lot of people, again, what did I say before? That there are too many people today, Gen X and millennials, who have made withdrawals from the Bank of Black Justice, and they have not made many deposits. And so this generation, they did their job 50 years ago in the founding of NABJ. This generation must do its job to ensure that there's a future of the National Association of Black Journalists. And so I encourage everybody to support and to give to the NABJ Jubilee Endowment Campaign. And I would ask our Black journalists who are at ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, who are working in the top 10, 20 markets in this country, you know the role NABJ played. You know how important the organization is. And so whether you think it should be doing more, that's fine. We need those ideas. I'm back on the board of directors as Vice President Digital. We need your involvement. But this is what I know right now. The next 3 years are going to be extremely difficult for NABJ and other Black organizations to get corporate support. It's going to be difficult because we're in the attacks on Black organizations, the attacks right now that we're seeing coming from the White House and other places. Corporate America is not standing up. Too many people are capitulating. And so this is the moment where African Americans are going to have to understand communal, understand the collective, and support our institutions. And so I'm encouraging every single high net worth African American journalist, do your part. You got to listen. You in that 37, at 35, 37, 39% tax bracket. You know you need tax write-offs. And so if you're going to give to charity, give to the National Association of Black Journalists, give to our endowment campaign. I absolutely believe that we can get 100 of our members to give $100,000. If that's the case, that's $10 million of our $15 million campaign. And so please show it again, the logo, please, of our Jubilee campaign. The NABJ Jubilee Endowment Campaign kicked off today, with today being the 50th anniversary of NABJ. And so we want you to support us as well. So, folks, y'all, that's the. Okay. All right. I want y'all to support the National Association of Black Journalists, support our Jubilee campaign. All right, folks, that's it. Michael, thanks a lot. Matt, thanks a lot. Let me thank Zachary. Control room, y'all got to get it together. All right, y'all, that's it for us. Great week. Thanks for all the panelists and everything we have on the show. Support the work that we do. Join our Bring the Funk campaign, y'all. And, of course, the goal is to raise $1 million this year. Listen, we got new shows coming, health show coming, new daily news show coming, lots of new stuff coming down the pipeline. So your support is critical. So if you want to join Bring the Funk campaign, you can contribute via Cash App. You want to use a square QR code. You see it right here. And that is bottom left-hand corner. Of course, we also have PayPal, R. Martin Unfiltered. Venmo's RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Checks and money order. Make it payable to Roland Martin Unfiltered. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Download the Black Star Network app, Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. Be sure to get our Roland Martin Unfiltered Black Star Network swag. Go to shopblackstarnetwork.com. Support the black-owned products that are on our website. So go to shopblackstarnetwork.com. Support them. And so... So, all the products you see to my left. Thank you. All right, all the products here. All these are black-owned products. So please support the work that we do. Support these black-owned companies right here. Also, don't forget, download the app Fanbase. And look, only a few more days left. The raise closes on the 18th. Today is the 12th. $14.6 million has been raised. And so get more information at startengine.com/fanbase. That's it. I'll see y'all Monday right here, Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Holla!